This will start the process of generating the orders. Since I have already generated my initial orders from Morris, I will get a message telling me you already have orders out there that are not exported, and it will not let me generate another one. If you are unsure of what orders are out there that it will not let you generate another order for, contact Rick's support. I can click OK on this, and now I will generate one for my other suppliers. I will choose Supplier Disguise. I will clear the SKUs. I do not want to put in any exclusion of SKUs. I will leave the SKUs blank, classes blank. I will now click the Create, PO, and Print. This will now come into our report history, and you will notice that the purchase auto generation has started the processing. Depending on the number of stores and the number of items, for Morris, for example, a 4,000 line item order for if you have 5 or 6 stores, this process may take up to 20 minutes. For a smaller single store operation for your smaller suppliers, should complete in much less time than that. When the order is done processing, you will notice it had generated a report, and in addition to the report, it generated your order worksheet. So to download the order worksheet to your local hard drive, you will see that the order worksheet is underlined, and it gives you the start date and the completion date of when that order was completed, and now you are ready to download it. Once underlined, you may click on the multi-order worksheet. We will then choose Save to save it to our local hard drive. And now it'll prompt me of where I want to save it at. I would recommend keeping your orders, your standard single store orders, and your order worksheets in separate folders. You will not be emailing your multi-store order worksheets to your vendors. You will be importing these orders back into Rick's, exporting out the individual store order, supplier store order, and emailing them the individual orders with the same process you used last season. So I would recommend to keep the two separate. And normally what I would recommend is creating an additional under my local disk C, creating a new folder out here called Orders Multi or Order Worksheet or something separate from my Orders folder where I will use to put my individual orders. I will create a new one called Orders and I will just call it Mult. I will click that Orders Mult to place it. So now I am putting my disguise order in the folder Orders Mult. I will save this. This will now give me a download complete. I will click on the Open once it's completed downloaded. This will load the order into Excel. As you notice, when it loads the order, you will get a message box telling you that you are trying to open an order in a different format that is specified than the extension. What this is this is an encrypted, protected XML spreadsheet that Excel is just wanting to warn you that this may not be proper for you to open. You do want to always say yes. You will get this message. Just click yes. It is okay to open this file in this format. So every time you open the spreadsheet, you will get that message. The first time you open the spreadsheet, in order to save it and set all the properties of all the columns, you will need to click the Save button. Again, you will get a message about this is not compatible with XMS. You always want to say yes to this as well. I will then close out of the order. and then I will go out to my folders and open the order again and start working on it. So the initial time I open it, I will need to save it and close out and open it back up in order for it to set all the properties. Please note, once you've downloaded it to your hard drive, you do not need to come back and download this from the report again. If you want to be safe, to make sure you do not overwrite this, because if I tried to come out here and click on this again and told it I wanted to save it again, it would tell me that that folder already exists. If you have already spent hours modifying those folders, the last thing you want to do is overwrite it with the generic folder that was generated. So what you may want to do to prevent that from happening is when you get the files downloaded, each supplier downloaded to your hard drive, is come in here and delete the spreadsheet so someone won't accidentally download it again. And I can click that just by clicking the delete button, and it'll remove that. So that spreadsheet, the spreadsheet now is on my hard drive. I do not need it out on the server anymore. Until I'm complete, I will upload it back to the server. So I would recommend all your spreadsheets that you've already saved and started working, come into report history and clear those Excel spreadsheets out of there so they are not saved and overwritten again. So now once the spreadsheet, since I have saved my disguise order, I can go out to my hard drive. I do not need to be in RIX. I can log out of RIX at this point. I do not need to be in RIX to work on my orders. I will not have to have internet access. I now have this as an Excel spreadsheet on my computer, and I can open and close it and work on it as many times as needed until I am completed with it. So you would click on Start. You would go into My Computer. I would go to my local disk C. I would select the folders I stored it in, and I would see the spreadsheet out there. I would open it. Again, you will always get that message. Again, we will always click yes on opening it. You will not be able to modify, once in Excel, you will not be able to change the format, move columns, remove columns, but you may hide columns and stretch the size of your rows and columns. So for supplier, if I did not want supplier to show, I can click on the supplier column. I can right click on it and I can say hide to shrink it down so I have more visibility to my multi-stores. SKU number, I can stretch that out to open up my SKUs farther so I can see. Same thing with description. I may need to see more of my description, so I can extend my description. Seasons I might be able to bring down a little bit to hide the class. I may need to expand to see which classes these are in. So I can sit here and adjust the sizes of my columns. Reorder is something that I could probably shrink down.